Got diamonds all over my teeth, the drippin' ain't free, bitch, I gotta eat. I hop in the pit with a freak, but you better know when I
Y'all know how we living.
the fuck
48 the gang.
I'm shooting shit like a freak. I swear that you nigga not street. How you a shooter, you don't got no heat. I got the big with my brother, I control my brother, and we got each other. I put that on the big man.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Off the Ropes podcast. I'm your co-host MAYAH.
And I am your co-host, Young SEAKA. And today we're in a new studio, new faces, new people working. Thank you very much, Abe, again for showing up. You know, today is a very important day. If to date, I would have to, rate my interviews in terms of importance, most definitely. No pressure though. But this is definitely our biggest interview, one for the city, definitely. Please, could you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Gwen, and I'm happy to be here. I'm equally honored to be here.
No, listen, Gwen, the first time, and you can pick up your mic if you want to, but the first time I have ever heard of you, I think I must have been like third year of university, and I was chilling with some people, someone that you might know as Sharifa Labaran,
Yes,
your prodigy.
That's my sister.
Of course. And, she was like, yo, guys, I'm working with someone, very good, Rogers TV. She's just throwing so many accolades at us, We didn't know how to assess the situation, but I'm happy to finally have you in the flesh today, definitely.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here, and it's great to hear that Sharifa has been rocking with me for years.
Yeah.
That's really like my little sister.
Yeah, no, for sure. Basically, to start off the interview, this conversation, I definitely want to know, what would you qualify yourself as? Because you do so many things, you're in the fashion world, you're often in TV, you're often, overseas doing many things, but it's really hard to somewhat pinpoint exactly what you would qualify yourself,
Yeah, you do so much, even I'm confused.
You know what? I'm confused too. No, but honestly, I am just, if I can sum up my life in one sentence, that would just be to be in service of others. So whatever I do, whether it's being the president of Equal Chance, my foundation, or hosting, as you said, events, activities, projects across the world, or designing clothes.
Sponsored by God, yeah,
Sponsored
big
by
one,
God.
big
one. My goal at the end of the day is always to just be in service of others and to bring back a sense of hope to people. And if people can see themselves doing things when they see me doing things, then my job is done. I hope that I can inspire many people. I hope that when people see me doing whatever it is that I want to do, that they too realize that they have the ability to do that as well. And it's interesting that you're saying this, because my mom used to always tell me, oh, you want to design clothes, you want to be a journalist, you want to be, doing interviews, and then you want to, go and have a master's degree and all of that. You can't do it all at the same time. And the reality is, yes, that's true, but that's also very false. We are who we decide to be. And of course, you have to manage your time better, and you have to really look at what is it that drives you and that you really want to do. But you can do it all, and you can be it all, and you can beat it all.
For someone who's so busy like you, how do you do time management so well?
I don't. That's the thing. No, you have to be honest. That's the thing, and it's like one of the things that my loved ones and people that are really close to me will tell you is that I don't manage myself very well, and I'm getting better at it.
It's not easy.
It's not even like stress. I get so stressed out sometimes that I'm like, I can't even control my body, because I'm just like, oh my God, this is happening, and then I have to really calm myself. Or those who really know me, like my loved ones, my family, my close friends, they know how to help me, help me calm down and just get it together. And I had to learn to do it for myself, because if I can't do it for myself, no one can do it for me. But I'm learning along the way to manage my time better, to say no, to understand that, it's okay to say no.
It's so hard to say no, especially for someone like you who's always doing stuff for others. when do you know the time? Like, when do you say no?
The thing is, your body tells you to say no.
Facts.
Your
Right?
intuition, you know?
Yeah, your intuition and your body, and you just have to listen to your body. And like you said, your intuition, like for me, it's like your spirit of discernment tells you, you know, you need to slow down, or this is not a good project for you, or, you know, this is not a good person for you. And
Yeah.
you really have to listen to that and just take that seriously, because your inner feelings never lie to you.
Never.
You've mentioned so many things, you know, about yourself, you know, I guess family, mom, like how you're not born in Ottawa, are you?
No, I was born in Libreville in Gabon.
Okay.
It's a country that is in Central Africa, right next to the Congo, the DRC,
Right.
and the other Congo as well. Congo Kinshasa, Congo Brazza, and then Cameroon,
Right.
and Centrafrique that is close to us too.
And one thing I've noticed a lot with people that are not born in Canada is the first couple of years when they first come to Canada, that culture shock is
Yeah.
definitely, it
Yes.
slaps you in the face like you've never met.
For sure,
you know?
absolutely. For me, I was 7, so obviously it's different,
Yeah.
like from a child perspective
Yeah.
to an adult. But I will tell you this: when I was in Gabon, we never talked about race.
We're all black.
We're all black,
Yeah.
you know. Yes, there's a lot of Lebanese people back home as well, so we know
And
they're
Haiti too,
Lebanese.
actually, you're right.
You know, so there was never anything about race.
Yeah.
You know, and so when I got here at the age of 7 and I went to this school, it was a transition school. That was my first experience with being different in Canada, where I literally had my face slammed onto the ice by a 9-year-old white boy who said to me that if I crossed this line to play with them, that I wasn't allowed to play with them because I'm black. And if I crossed the line, that he would hurt me. And I did cross the line because I was that child. And I was like, you're not going to tell me what to do, and you're not going to tell me where to play. And I will. And I come from back home. So when kids from back home grow faster than kids here.
Facts.
There are conversations I remember having at the age of 7 with my parents that my other friends were not having with their parents, you know? And so
Yeah.
I crossed this line, and he severely beat me up.
Yeah.
And that was my first time understanding that I was different in Canada.
When did you take in consideration the type of power that you had as a woman? Obviously, you seen your mom pulling up to a school, beating up a white kid. That's scary, of course. But when did you realize that you had that power within yourself to do so?
Well, you know what? My mom, she didn't even get to see the kid. She didn't even get to touch the kid, which I think was a good thing. But I come from a family that had so many strong women
Right.
and so many strong men too. So I got to see a strong man in my father, and I got to see a strong woman in my mother. And so just seeing how hard my mom was going, even for my father, I guess made me stronger as a person. Seeing also some of the things and experiences that my mother and my father went through, even with some friends, you know, deceptions, etc., and how they dealt with it. That really helped me, and it kind of prepared me for the world. I feel like as a child, my siblings and I were really thrown into an adult world very, very fast and very soon, you know.
Do explain how? Like, why do you say that?
For example, at 12, I was writing speeches with my dad, right? I was going on campaign trails with my dad to campaign for, you know, presidential runs and things like this, you
At
know.
12?
Yes, at 12. So that was...
Did you want to do that? Were you excited? For
Yes, because I saw my dad speaking to crowds of people who would cheer
That's
him
where it came
on,
from.
you know,
Yeah.
like he would get up there, and like he spoke such a beautiful French, and he was a people person, and so was my mom. Our home was everybody's home. You know, everybody was always welcome. Like Christmas, we had international students from Gabon, some of my brother's friends who didn't have their family here, who would come and spend their time with us, and everybody became family. So just being able to see my dad, see how he stood, see the respect that he commended, seeing how he was handling some of the situations that he faced, I always looked at him with so much admiration. Like, I want to be my dad. I want to be like this man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I felt like that too. Like, I feel like I have such a loudmouth, and I'm very confident in who I am because of my first love, right? My mom. Like, it's always the opposite sex, Like, I always saw my mom like, oh wow, she's such a strong person. She came into Canada. She was like 27. She had me 3 years later. University. Imagine starting university at 30 with 2 kids,
Yes.
That's the type of perspective.
Hard,
I'm telling you, that's the type of perspective you can't buy anywhere else. You have to really get it from your own house.
But it's really beautiful to see that you have that in your heart and that you have so much respect and love and admiration for your mother, because when we grow up, sometimes there's things that our parents would tell us that I would just be like, oh, you're so annoying, like brush it up, close the door, you get on your phone, oh, my dad is so annoying, my mom is so annoying, and then like they tell you one day you'll see, and then the one day comes and you want to turn around. In my case, I want to be like, Dad, you were right, but he's no longer here, right? So that's painful because.
What do you mean he's no longer here?
Oh, my dad passed away in 2006. He was murdered in my country.
Our condolences.
I'm so sorry.
So it was hard, but it's like another period of my life that just made me stronger. I had no choice but to be strong, and the thing is, when my dad was murdered back home, I come back to Canada alone because all of my siblings then decide I'm going to stay in France, I'm going to be in Gabon, I'm going to be in Senegal, I'm going to be everywhere. I'm going to be in London, England.
Dispersion.
And and I'm here in Ottawa and I'm alone, And so and then you sit here and you wonder, where are all the people that we welcomed home? Where are all the people that were like sleeping at home, eating our food? Where's mom's friend that was always up to no good in the house? And dad had said, he didn't want this woman around for a reason, but mom wanted to keep her around us. And then what happened is that specific woman, I bump into her literally 2 days after I got back from burying my dad. And she says to me at Rideau, and I remember exactly where she said this to me. It was like under the staircases. And she says, people are wondering how you're going to survive now that your parents are gone.
Méchanceté.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Wow.
Like literally, this is exactly what she said to me.
Crazy.
And then another person, I had left some bags at their place. And this person says to me, oh, I have... Same Rideau, like same week, I bump into these 2 people, and this person tells me, oh, I have some bags at my place that are gonna end up in the garbage.
Wow.
And I'm out here like grieving, trying to figure out what's going to happen to me.
And these are people you've helped out in the past.
Oh, these are people that were coming to my house. These are people that were eating our food. These are people that
Literally biting the hand that feeds you.
yeah,
That's
like
crazy.
that my mom has supported, that my father supported, despite the fact that he saw something that my mom wasn't seeing in these people. He was still like, okay, that's my wife.
Yeah.
That's her friends. If she's happy with them, but just be careful. And so coming back to this really motivated me. And I thought, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say at the end of the day. Like I always say, what matters is what God says. Nonetheless, I went through my own trials. I faced homelessness. I lived in a shelter for almost 3 months. It was extremely difficult for me. But now that I look back, even when I was in the shelter, I actually don't remember thinking of what that woman said to me.
You're so focused on your
Yes, I
own.
was so focused on getting out.
You're not gonna think of that.
Of course.
Absolutely. I was just like, okay, I need to get out. So what do I need to do?
Right.
Okay, I need to get jobs.
Yeah.
I got 3 jobs. It was overwhelming. I was at the university doing my bachelor at the same time. It was really difficult for me. I got my 3 jobs, got my first and last rent, and I was able to move out and move into my place. And I was really happy,
You're just blowing my mind. I'm sitting here like,
No,
do you have a book? You should.
I don't.
You should write
Why
a
don't you
book.
write-
One day.
Do you want to? Is that something you
I do, because I think that
read it.
writing
100%.
writing helps me heal. It really does. It helps me
Yeah.
heal, and I think that it helps a lot of people heal.
Yes.
And
journaling helps.
yeah.
me, like,
Process
when
your
I'm going through hard
emotions.
times, I like to write everything down, quotes, I know you like quotes with that book.
Yes.
Do you wanna tell the
Oh,
audience
absolutely.
about it?
Like for me, writing is part of my life. And so every time I travel, I always bring a book with me. And when I meet people, whether I meet them in the plane, on the plane, or, you know, in the country that I'm at, I always ask them to write me a quote in that book,
This is so
or
amazing.
like a love letter that I can read later on. And you know what? The
Yeah.
beauty of it is that some people I've only met once. The majority of them I met only once and never saw again in my life. But I got the most beautiful gift, which is
Right.
a life lesson that they've learned, or a letter just cheering me on. So whenever I feel down, I open this book and I'm just like, wow. And last time I was feeling really down and I opened the book and it fell right on this letter that a friend wrote to me when she was 15 and I was 13. But 2 years later, she died. She was hit by a car. But she was so wise at 15. And she was telling me, you know what, Gwen? Life is a long road that you cannot cross without having people pointing fingers at you. And it's important. Yeah, at 15. Yeah.
Wow.
And so she said it's important to know when to stop and when not to stop. And the majority of time, it's not worth it.
No, and I really love that. You take a hold of everything that happens in your life, and everything means so much to you. You're a very perceptive person. But enough about how you grew up. I definitely want to get in the heart of this question. I see you as a philanthropist. You might not qualify yourself as that, but you do a lot for the community. You do fashion. You're talking on the behalf of a lot of people. So I would qualify you personally as a philanthropist. So how did that whole path kind of jumpstart for you?
Well, with my mom, my mom has always been extremely caring and careful with people and very loving. And I've seen my mom from when I was born. Like, I never seen this woman not dedicate her life and herself in service of others. And she's like over 70 now, and she still has people coming home in the south of France where she lives. If I call her today and I say, hey mom, I have some new friends, they need a place to crash, she will give you her bed and sleep in the living room and make sure that you're fed and that you're okay. That's the mother that I have the privilege to have, that I have the honor to have. And my mom was a pediatrician. And I remember when we were in Gabon, I think I was 5, she came home, she was really upset. And there was a young kid who was probably around my age or the age of my brother that comes right before me. And he was extremely sick. And the hospital was saying, to his dad, you need to pay. If you don't pay, we're not going to take your child. And my mom said, no, we're going to take him. And if you don't want to take him, then put it on my tab. I'll pay for it. Like, take it out of my salary, but I'm not letting this kid go die. And she really fought for the child. And that's a story that stayed with me because, man, like, my mom she's just a different person. She's just... her level of care for others is different, and like, I remember we used to joke around and call her mother Teresa, but honestly, she dedicated her whole life to serving
people,
others.
right.
And she became a pediatrician because she loves children. Even when she came here as diplomats, they were not allowed to work. So what she did is she went to do to la Cité Collégiale to do a program of aide à l'enfance, to work with children, because she loved the Canadian system and how they have a more holistic approach, etc. And she wanted to bring that back home where we put the child first, etc. And so even here, she was encouraging us to go to the Shepherd of Good Hope to serve food and to help out others. And I remember one Christmas, I don't know, don't ask me why, I was like 11, I asked for a real car and they bought me a Barbie car and I was so upset. Don't ask me how.
Car.
Yes, I was expecting a car.
You was 16.
I was so upset. So my mom made me pack up all my gifts and bring them downtown to give them.
Yeah, my mom,
And she was
that's
like, it's
something I
over. You're not getting anything. It's done. Like, if you can't appreciate what we're giving you. But I mean, like, looking back, I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, you'll never forget that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But how do you make that transition to a professional setting? Because those are things like, those are values that you carry with you, right? Shows you how to treat people, shows you how to love people around you. But how do you make that transition into a professional setting where now, you know, you're able to work with people like Ben Telford, you're able to work with people like Angie's Models, like you have an affinity with people most definitely, you know, but how do you make that transition over to the professional setting?
Like of what? Of supporting people?
No, like your first opportunity to actually setting what you would call your profession. How do you go about doing so?
I mean, like, I think that everything ends up falling into place. Like one thing leads to the other. You know, I've always wanted to tell stories. You know, that's why journalism I thought was for me, but then I realized it's not for me because it's just reporting and not really digging deep and telling the stories.
So journalism was your first
segue.
Okay.
You went to school for?
I went to school in communication and sociology at the University of Ottawa. Then I did my master's in sociology, and my research paper was on hip hop as a tool of social change in Nunavut.
Say word.
That's
What?
really cool.
And you know, and the thing is, like, I never even thought that the university would allow me to work on a subject like hip hop, but that's when you realize that, you know, actually the university is a place for that. It's a place to develop ideas, etc. And
even in Toronto, they're starting this 101 class on Drake in the weekend.
I saw
But those are people like you that broke down those barriers to show the teachers, like, listen, this is
I
what
don't think
we
it's
eat.
me, but
Not only you personally, but I'm saying, like,
People
you're
like
part
you,
of that.
yeah.
Yeah, people like you, most definitely.
But I think that it's like, it's also, hip hop is very much there. It's every day. It's in everything that we do. It can't be ignored.
You can't
know.
escape
So
it.
you can't escape it. So yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So your clothing line is called Sponsored by God, and you talk about God a lot.
Yes.
Can you just talk to me about your faith and like where it all stems from?
Well, for me, my faith is everything. Everything starts with faith, you know, and
Yeah.
faith destroys fear. You know, when you walk by faith and not by sight, or not by your circumstances and your experiences, you realize that really God got you, first of all, and that there's nothing that you can do without God, and that, you know, there's no... I hear sometimes people say, oh, I'm self-made, I'm self-this and that. I don't believe in that. I believe in God, and I believe in people opening doors for others, and God using people to open a door for you. I'm not self-made. I could never claim that. If some people are, well, that's good for them, but I'm not. And I have only been able to achieve everything that I've been able to achieve because people have supported me.
Right.
Because first and foremost, I have God, but also because God has allowed me to meet certain people, to have certain people around me that have opened a door for me. And this is why I always feel that I have a responsibility whenever a door is open for me to open another door, to keep that door open for others, you know, and then to open another door as well. It's like the whole elevator concept. If I'm getting in the elevator, I'm going to keep the door open for as many people to come up, and when we're all the way up, I'm going to send it back down so that it can pick up more people, in hopes that these people open the door for more people.
See, in the good faith of this show, Off the Ropes, I have to ask you questions.
Yes.
They're gonna, you know, it's kind of cold, and let me make it warm then, you know?
Tell me.
Talk a lot about God, and I love that, because to be honest with you, my faith is definitely something that have pushed me in everything that I've done so far. You know, I definitely feel like my mom instilled that faith in me, even at moments where I didn't want to go on church on the weekends. You know, my mom definitely pushed me to that side, to develop that side of me, because regardless if you believe or not, everybody is somewhat spiritual, whether they like it or not. You know, so my thing to you is, how do you abide in a system like business? You know, you have to entertain relationships and manage the balance between being cutthroat and being diligent and loving people, giving chances. How do you balance that?
Well, I mean,
Because
like,
if you do me wrong, I'm doing you even worse. That's me though.
You know what? The thing is, like, if you do me wrong, I'm just done. You know, I don't have the energy to be on such low frequency that I have to meet you there.
Yeah.
You know, and
No
I
long
don't.
talk.
Yeah, I don't have the energy either to dim my light because you can't handle my brightness. You know, like just wear a pair of shades or just get out of my way. You know,
Wear a pair
because
of
I will
shades.
get out of your way.
Oh, that's a bar. That's
You
a
know,
bar though.
No, but for real, you know,
Hip
like,
hop and Nineveh, though. Okay. No, but keep going. Keep going. I'm listening.
yeah, no, seriously, I just don't. You know, we have to vibe and we have to be on the same frequency. It's like to do certain things to people that just don't make any sense and that is just vil and just mean. You have to be at a very, very low frequency. Like you have to operate from a place of hurt and pain that you need to heal from. And that's something that we need to understand is that a lot of times people have not healed from certain things that experiences, and sometimes it's us that have not healed from experiences and things that we've been through that we need to heal from before we go out in the world and hurt other people.
Because yeah, exactly. People bring all their baggage and they put it on you, but you just can't take it personally. Some people are just like that. Just like your story about you meeting the two women in Rito, it's like that's their problem.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's
can't
not, and you have to understand that. And then you have to also operate at another level of forgiveness.
Yeah.
You know, you have to forgive others, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse than holding anger against people, because then you can't function, you can't achieve what you're supposed to achieve, you can't do what you're supposed to do, you know? If you hold on to anger, I remember having a conversation with my brother. He was really upset with me because I wrote on Facebook, like at the 10-year anniversary of my dad's death, I wrote that I forgive those who murdered my father, not because they deserve that forgiveness, but because I deserve peace. I can't go on. I can go on in my life thinking, you know, how can I get back at them? You know, having all these thoughts that are not supposed to be in your brain. And he was really upset. Like, how dare you?
Yeah.
And he didn't understand where I was coming from. And it's okay, because I'm not sure that we can ever fully heal from a parent being murdered. It's just something you have to grow through and you have to go through. You can't contour it. You can't try to explain. There's nothing that can ever explain something like this.
It's funny you say that, because I was watching online, right? And like, it's about testimonies about people that lost someone dear in their life, you know? And a lot of them, what they compare losing a close ones to is like, imagine walking, right? And you lose a leg, and like you have to learn to walk without a leg now. You know, it's like, it's almost that perspective. It's like you have a limb that's missing, and sometimes you'll go and like scratch it, and it just kind of hits you right away, like, oh wow. Like, even my mom, you know, when I was younger, we moved to Ottawa. I'm actually from Montreal, you know, but we moved to Ottawa, and she just finished her degree, and she gets hit with a cancer. You know, I don't often speak about that, but that situation reshaped our whole family. Whether you like it or not, it's not something you can kind of just gloss over, you know. And someone in our family, I'm not gonna, you know, say anybody's name, but someone in her family called her and said, because it was a breast cancer, so she did a mastectomy, and the family member called her and said, oh, how are you doing, one tit? Imagine that in Creole, you know, and your language of, it's the type of thing that, so again, on that type of note, I definitely relate to you, you know, but past that, helping people, you know, a lot of that theme, you know, raising people that are still down when you make it up. So in that sense, how is it important for you to shape the future generations to come? Because I've seen you work with people, again, like we said, Sharifa, Ben Telford, Chris from Severe Nature. Like, how important is it for you to help the next generation to come up?
For me, it's the only way up, you know, to support others, whether it's the next generation or elders. I think that we all have a responsibility to support each other, to uplift each other, to give when we can and what we can, and not to do that in vain either. You know, we were talking about discernment earlier. You know, it's not everybody that you know, not everybody wants to be helped either, and you have to accept that as well. And you know, it's like the song "Don't Save Her." She don't want to be saved. You know? It's true. It's true. Some people just, I'm not saying I'm saving people, but like some people just don't want to be helped, and you just have to read the room. You know what I mean? But for me, again, like I cannot have a door open for me without opening it for someone else. Like I'm traveling soon. I have this show that I'm working on called Growing Forward, and I'm soon going to be heading out again on the road, traveling Miami, LA, etc., Paris, interviewing people. And every time I get the occasion to meet people, I always take something with me from a young creator, like other people, to give it to the person that may
Nice
have...
hoodie, by the way. Nice hoodie. I like that.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's my favorite hoodie now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like seriously, I always take something with me because I'm thinking if I'm in a position to be able to meet certain people, and I don't know whether it's Ben or Sharifa or anybody can also benefit from that, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't believe in competition. I don't. I think that the only competition that we have is in front of the mirror. You know,
With
it's the last
ourselves.
project that we worked on. It's the last state that we were at, you know, like how are we improving? How are we getting better? How are we supporting more people? Like, are we fulfilling our mission, our purpose on earth? You know, how are we going about doing this? Are we opening doors for others? That's what matters to me.
That's amazing. So you're big on fashion, and you're in the fashion scene a lot. Have you been to a lot of like fashion shows and like New York Fashion
I
Week,
have,
Paris
and it's
Fashion
been interesting. You know, one thing that my dad also told me is you have to respect people's hustles. You have to respect people's accomplishment. You have to appreciate and be inspired by the right people,
Yeah.
but don't ever bow down to anybody because you have the ability, you have the capacity to also achieve greatness in life.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So sometimes we look at these things and we're thinking, oh my God, it's so unattainable. Oh, this is Paris Fashion Week. And this is, and you know, I come from a world where there was a lot of protocol, you know, like the diplomatic world where my parents had receptions at home and you have to greet people a certain way and you
Impress
have to,
people a
you
lot,
have,
yeah.
you know, you have to like, eat a certain way and this fork is for this and this fork is for that and we had to learn that like
Yeah.
and I'm not saying it's bad, it's great for certain settings, but honestly when my dad was laying in this casket and I was looking at my dad, I was just thinking like nothing really matters right now.
It matters. We're all human.
Like nothing at all matters.
Yeah.
And we have to make the most of our lives.
Yeah.
We have to make the most of what's given to us. And then we have to give the most that we can as well to the right people and the right opportunities and the right things. You know, you hear me? And so for me, what's important is to see life in terms of legacy. What will be your legacy and what is your current legacy? What is there that you want to achieve while you're still here? How many lives can you impact? How many lives can you change? How can you change your own life? How can you grow? Where are you trying to go? You know, are the actions that you're posing right now today honoring your future, honoring your purpose, honoring God's plans for you in your life? And if they're not, why are you still entertaining this?
Yeah.
Why are you chasing things and opportunities that don't belong to you? And I was listening to this man named Pastor Keon, and he was saying that your destiny is never attached to anything that left you.
Ooh.
And it's so true.
Too many gems right now. My
But
head
it's so true. So how many times did we spend honestly sitting there crying over a person that left us, a person that did us wrong, did us dirty? Oh, I never thought this friend, girl, you knew.
You knew.
Okay.
Ew.
Oh, I
Liar.
never
Especially
thought this
women, like-
guy, I never thought this girl was going to do this. Oh, I went to this job interview. I thought I had this job. What if you were saved from a situation from this job?
Oh, 100%.
You know, maybe it wasn't for you.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been to job interviews where I was like, God, that is my job. Don't play me. I'm like, this has my name on it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I go to the interview, I meet the people, and I'm like,
Disgusted.
Yeah.
And I go home and I'm like, Lord, please remove that job. No, like seriously,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know if you've ever prayed for something and then you went back and was like, Lord, I'm sorry I asked for this. Can you please remove this thing from this opportunity from my life? I do that because that's the thing. It's like I finally understood that what is for you will be for you.
Forever.
It doesn't matter if that job is $100,000 a year or $50,000 a year. Whatever is for you will be for you.
Yeah.
And sometimes all you have to do is just be still.
Trust the process.
And trust the process, 100.
Right.
Yeah.
What has changed in the fashion industry ever since because you've been doing this for quite some time now. So what's the number one thing that jumps to you that has changed the most in the fashion industry?
Fast fashion. Like everybody wanting it right away. Like back in the days, I remember like when my parents were still here, like 90s, early 2000s, it was like there was something special about, you know, I have this collection that is limited edition.
Yeah.
And that's like coming out in like a few months. It's like cars, right? So you had to wait. But now, as soon as it's out of the runway, and I remember when I started my first line called Dare, I presented it at Montreal Fashion Week and
That's fun.
Ottawa Fashion Week when we had
existed,
one.
yeah,
Yes.
right.
And that was a long time ago.
What
And I
year was
remember I don't remember 2012, I don't know,
Right.
15.
I remember Chanel Tima telling me about that. I
It
didn't
was
even know we had a fashion
it was a
week
long
here.
time ago, man. Like,
Why did they
anyways,
stop? What
I don't
happened
know.
to Ottawa Fashion Week?
But I don't know.
Bring
But
it back.
it was just, like I remember a week later, my sister, I don't even know. My sister sends me a link to my clothes, which weren't even like, I only had one of each because I traveled to Paris to meet with Dahe, who was a guy that was the tailor that was making my clothes. And my sister sends me a link. She's like, your clothes are on sale on a Chinese website. And
How long did that take?
it was like,
Oh, no. I gotta beat that guy up. If it was me.
it was a week. All of my collection was on sale.
No. You're
On this
laughing right now,
website
but it's not funny.
in China.
I'm not laughing.
That's real. But you must be so flattered.
No, I was so
week.
upset. I sent them a nasty email.
Did you?
And obviously they removed it. I don't even know like how, but they removed it, or maybe they blocked me. I don't know, but they
No.
they removed it, and that was my first experience being like, holy, like what happened right there. But all that to say, even when I had the chance to travel in 2015 to see Kanye work with Sakaya on season 4 in New York, I remember when we were at Negril, the restaurant, Ye said, y'all need to make sure that the collection comes out like ASAP, like tomorrow, because the thing we don't want is for it to be found in
Bootlegged.
like all these websites and stuff.
Shein.
And I didn't understand, but I was like,
Shein is the real pandemic.
No.
I'll tell you that right now.
What?
Shein is the real pandemic.
Is it Shein or Shein?
Shein, or whatever that is.
I
man.
don't even know. I've never ordered from it, but my cousins did, and they told me that it arrived super fast. And I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, I definitely have.
See, that's another thing too.
I'm guilty.
Right, fast fashion, right? We're talking about that and how it's literally impacted the whole fashion industry. And I think that social media really has to do a lot with that because the moment you see it is
You
the
want
moment you want it.
Yes.
Right? So my question to you is, how important is, within your organization, how important is social media?
It's absolutely
because
everything.
come on, guys.
But that's
come
the
on.
thing. It's-
Come on. Come on. What are
I
we
know, beautiful.
What are we doing at this? It's a beautiful
Yeah.
picture, but
You take
how
great
important is it for you?
pictures.
Thank you. How is it, for me, it's like, it's super important because that's the world that we're living in.
Okay.
And right now, you know that one day that Instagram wasn't working, everybody didn't know what to do with their
freaking out.
lives.
I went to Twitter for the first time in months just to check. I'm like,
Everybody was like, what's going I'm here on my phone like,
calling my friends,
refresh.
is it working?
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, Rogers got me shook, but it wasn't them, you know? It was like, I was like, what's going on? Okay, Belle, okay, Rogers. But it got us shook. But me, the thing is, I use social media to connect with people. I barely look at people's lives. You know, I can see some quick things on my feed, but I'm constantly connecting with people that I want to learn from. I'm not on social media to, you know, I had like this one person that would send me the most random, oh, this celebrity did this. That's not my problem. They already have their lives. I don't need to, you know, I don't need to
People live
entertain
through
that.
pictures,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I'm
for
just
sure.
trying to get to, and I'm not saying
It's
like,
like a
yeah,
tool
sometimes
for
you
you.
look at some pictures and you're like, okay, you get entertained.
Yeah.
But I'm on social media connecting with people that I believe are on the same frequency as I,
Yeah.
and that can help me fulfill my purpose and my mission, and whom I can help as well.
And with your purpose and your mission, you need a voice, and social media can definitely help you with
Facts.
that. So
Oh,
it is important
yes.
to you, whether you agree with like pictures or not.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely
Well,
important.
look, for example, my brand, Sponsored by God, was launched in the middle of the pandemic, October 2020.
And it's doing so well right now,
Thank
by
you
the way.
so much.
Yeah, so well.
So I launched it.
Congratulations, that's
Thank you
great.
so much. I launched it during the pandemic, and it was just like, okay, how can I bring it to the level that I want to bring it at?
Yeah.
I believe in my product. I believe in the message. Is the most important thing within this brand is the message. It's what are we trying to convey?
Yeah.
What are we trying to tell people? What are we trying to do with this? And for me, it's about empowering people through the word, encouraging them. And every time I wear like a trench coat, or I wear a jogging, and someone stops me in the street and we have a conversation on something that they're going through, and how, for example, what they saw in my pants was the answer they were looking for, or what they saw in my coat is something that has empowered them or made them smile. Can I take a picture of this coat? That makes my day.
Talk
Yeah.
about
You
purpose,
know,
eh?
it is like, it's really about, you know, it's not necessarily doing something new. Everybody has hoodies and joggers, etc. It's just about
Branding.
putting your own sauce to
Right.
it. Bringing
There you
something.
go.
Yeah, that's true.
It's your
Everyone
own,
has hoodies,
It's your
but-
own recipe. You know, it's like food. You'll never cook food the way your mom cooks food, because her hand is completely different than your hand and my hand. So we can cook the same like rice, but it's not gonna taste the same.
It never
This
tastes
is
the
why I
same.
always tell people, it doesn't matter who copies you. It doesn't matter who's trying to do what you do. No one can do what you do the way that you do what you do, you know? So yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about you and what you do.
Put yourself
Yeah.
first,
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
So speaking of fashion, I know it's been a while, but what was your favorite Met Gala look? Do you have one? Did you watch? Did you see the red
Are you even
carpet?
interested in Met Gala?
Yeah, do you even...
You know what? I can talk about my favorite moment at the Met
Okay.
Gala,
Yeah,
and that
please.
was when Lewis Hamilton used his power, used his money, used his resources, his contacts to invite Black designers who would have never been invited to that space.
And that was a big
Yes.
thing during this Met
And
Gala.
that for me was my favorite Met Gala moment. Is
Amazing.
just to be able to see someone at the peak of their career still think of their own people and others
Yeah.
who could benefit from this space, and being able to open that door. For me, that was my Met Gala moment.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Right. I've got a couple more questions. We're not gonna keep you any longer. I know you got a lot
Oh,
of
it's
things
fine.
to do.
I'm here.
My biggest thing also, I want to put you back on the ropes. You're smiling a bit too much right now. One of my question right now is
Okay.
definitely in the setting, right? In the business setting,
Yes.
you end up working with a lot of men. That's just incontournable. You know, there's no way around it.
Okay.
How is it to be a woman in the industry in 2021 still?
Yeah, like how do you find your confidence as a woman? Because like, for example, they say if there is like a job posting, men will post a job posting or apply if they only have 3 out of the 10 requirements, but women won't even do it if they only have 8.
I'll apply
You
to
know?
everything.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But how do you get that confidence? Because a lot of women don't.
Well, I think that it's just in us. Like, I mean, like, no one can help you if you don't want to help yourself. You know, your value is never lies in the hands of other people. But if you take yourself and your value, your worth, your mind, your everything, and you put it in a golden platter and hand it to other people, you know, they will not know what to do with it.
But you never had that idea conflict in your mind?
Of what?
Like, oh, I'm going against such and such person in the
No.
field? Never!
I
No,
feel like 'cause
but
of the way
when I
your
was younger,
parents-
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I like
That's
that. I like
amazing.
When
that.
I was younger, maybe yes. But as I grew older and I got screwed over enough time to be in a place where I can confidently say that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that's that, you know, at the end
Give
of
us
the
a
day.
story then.
Wow.
How you came to find that
Yes,
confidence.
because, you know, the thing is, you go through life. Like I said, I've seen my father was murdered by 4 people he helped. You feel me? So, like, people, like, I always tell people, how much longer will you allow people to murder your soul, murder your dignity, murder your reputation, murder your projects, murder your opportunities while you're still alive? And you can still do something about it.
Keep playing with me.
You know what I mean? So at one point you have to make a decision that enough is enough. At one point you have to understand that, like I said earlier, nothing that has ever left you is attached to your destiny. You know, for me, it's understanding that we all have a purpose, we all have a destiny, we all have a route.
Right.
I cannot compare my experience with someone else's experience, which I used to do when I was young and naive and not really confident. And till this day, no one is 100% confident. There's nobody that can...
You have to fake it.
Yes, there's nobody that can sit here. Not me, not anyone that can say, oh, I'm 100% confident.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid about anything. No, we all have our fears, but we deal with our fears differently.
Yeah.
I tackle my fears with faith.
Yeah.
And there are moments and there are times where I get really afraid of things and events and stuff that happen to me. And I feel like sometimes it's reminders.
Yeah.
Like lately I got, you know, you were talking about cancer and I got a scare. You know, I discovered a lump in my boob and I was just like, this is really difficult for me. Now I have to get a biopsy. Now I have to, you know, like the mammogram isn't looking good. What do I do? You know, like I started thinking all sorts of things, crying and all of this. So
It's hard not to, though.
obviously
right?
it's very difficult. So
Yeah.
and then these are things now you have to start imagining certain things, and then how do you stop imagining them? You go and you do the tests, you do the medical examination, and you get your answers.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But a lot of times people don't do that. And I'm not just talking about medical stuff, just in life in general. Like, instead of just getting to it, you sit there and you imagine the worst.
You're just
Right.
wondering.
And you start thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, and then you're killing yourself and you're hurting yourself and you're losing weight and you're losing your mind. And we have to stop doing that to ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Overthinking is going to kill us.
Overthinking and also this thing that some people have are wanting to please everyone. And you know, there's this brother Youssoufa who's a rapper, and he said in French, plaire à tout le monde, c'est plaire à n'importe qui.
Yeah.
And it's so true.
What does that
You will
mean?
never be
It
able
means
to
if you
please
try
everybody.
to please everybody, you'll end up pleasing no one.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's
Basically.
like
Oh my gosh,
you're just
absolutely.
like, we're all like, in a world in which God isn't even loved and recognized unanimously, don't expect to be loved and recognized unanimously.
Not everybody's like
Oh,
God,
that's
basically. Yeah.
facts.
Don't expect, like, you were not meant for everybody.
Yeah.
You're
I
not.
like the quote. It's like, don't try to make everyone like you because you don't even like everyone.
Exactly.
facts.
So facts,
But it's
like-
it's so true. And the thing is, you know, some people, each one of us are experiences. Sometimes people are like, I don't understand you. And I say, I'm not meant to be understood. I'm meant to be experienced.
I'm pretty sure Lil Wayne said that, actually. That's a good...
Wait, who's your
it's a
favorite
good-
rapper?
My favorite rapper,
Yeah. Or favorite musical artist?
Yeah.
Because, you know,
That's a really
Miss
good
Hip-Hop.
question. The thing is, like, sorry, I listen to so so many different genres of music. So I can listen from I can listen to saudade music from Brazil. I listen to my own music from my village, my dad's village, you know, that no one understands. I listen to obviously hip hop, rap, R&B. I listen to song. It's not much the music, but more of the person that interests me.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Who's your favorite person?
My favorite, I don't think I have a favorite. It would be Tupac.
There you go.
Yeah.
Put on the ropes with that question. I like that.
It would actually
Amazing.
Yeah.
it would be
Amazing
Tupac
answer.
100%. Like
Okay.
I like when even
Because
when,
of character, I suppose so. Right?
yes, because
what he
when I was
stands
a
for.
kid, I was drawn to this man. As a child, I understood his poetry, and I understood the depth of his persona.
Yeah.
And for me, it's such a big loss. Such a big loss.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think he had so much that we could all still learn from. And you know, I bought his poetry book, The Rose That Grew from Concrete.
Fire book. Such
That
a fire
book
book.
is
I need to read
amazing.
that.
That poem as well, that The Rose That Grew from Concrete, is amazing. It's, you just read this and you're like, this man is an absolute jam.
Yeah. I love Jay-Z for that exact reason. I think when I was 21, I used to always listen to Jay-Z, but when I was 21, there was just this summer where I just understood what it was to be a man and to have to work through life. Literally, you have to work for everything that you want in life. And when I listened to, I think it was the Blueprint 3 or was it the Black Album, and all his lyrics just hit me like a ton of bricks.
Spoke to you, eh?
Yeah, it was just like, whoa,
Yeah.
like he's... Like, I'm literally going through what he went through like
Absolutely.
20 years back,
I
you know?
love Jay-Z as well. I mean, just who he is and what he's been able to achieve, and his mindset as well, you know, and it's like he's almost,
Such a poised person.
yes, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
For
Like, it's
sure.
like he's not entertaining nonsense. He has his eyes fixed on his goals. You barely, if not almost never hear anything that involves him that is
No
negative.
gossip. Yeah.
You know, so
Every time it's big moves, every time you hear from him.
yes,
Yeah,
you know,
for
and
sure.
like it's like he kind of makes me think in a way of LeBron.
Did you watch his latest movie? Just
No, I haven't.
Oh man, such
The
a good
Jay-Z
movie.
movie?
Yeah, oh
I
man.
started it, but I fell asleep. But
the cowboy movie, right?
It looked
oh man,
like it was well done. It's very
Yeah.
different. I need to finish it.
No, I just like, honestly, I like people who are able to, you know, set goals and achieve them, and
Yeah.
that their character are intact as well. That they're good people.
right.
Yeah. You can tell when someone's good. You know?
And two last questions. This last question is, what's next for you? Like, what are you envisioning in your near future?
My near future, I'm envisioning continuing to share people's stories through documentaries. I'm envisioning also sharing their stories through Growing Forward, which is a show that I've been planning for years and years, and finally I'm able to
Wow.
start shooting
That's
this show,
exciting.
yes, this month, which is going to be such a blessing to be able to meet all these incredible people, share their stories.
You need viewings for those docs. I really want to, like, we need like a viewing, like a day where people just get to come
Yes.
together and see it firsthand. For sure.
No, for sure. And now you're giving me an idea. Right? But yeah, and continuing, it's sponsored by God, because honestly, I made this brand not to make money, but to share a message with people. And I remember when I was starting it, I was telling myself it doesn't matter who buys it or who doesn't buy it, as long as people that wear it feels good, and that they feel good, and that,
That's
you know, that it uplifts their spirit. That's all that matters to me. But it's taking a different direction. Like yesterday, I get a like I see my phone blowing up, like just blowing up with things, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I realized that Shawnee, Shaquille O'Neal's ex-wife, with whom he has all his children, had posted an outfit that I sent her, sponsored by God.
Oh, I did see that on your story.
Yes,
I actually did see
and
that
then
on your
like
story.
all of a
I wanna
sudden,
see it.
all these people are sending me messages, that people that I don't even know, about how they're just discovering the brand and they're touched by it. She herself, Shani, is a woman that I absolutely admire.
No, you had a big week.
Yes.
This is big, definitely, but the Outstanding Achievement Award,
Yes.
the crime prevention one too.
Yes.
You're doing too many things. I can't handle
No,
it.
I'm doing the same thing. It's all about
You're doing too much.
It's the same thing. It's all about just supporting the community, uplifting the community, the same community that has been supporting me, that has been uplifting me. So it's the same thing, just a different day.
We're so lucky to have you.
I'm so blessed to be here.
Same question.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a last question for me. I'm not sure if you have one more.
Yeah.
But when was your last like aha moment? It could be with work, life, or motherhood, because you're a mom, right? It could be anything. Just your last aha.
It was in the shower, and you know it's funny.
I think in the
It
shower.
always
too.
happens in the shower.
I always think.
It was
Yes.
actually earlier in the shower where I realized something just hit me, and I said, some people are nice on purpose.
Because they want something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because some people be observing you for years. For years. And I was actually having a conversation even with Sharifa about that. Is that people, you have to protect your peace and protect your energy.
Yes.
Because
But to be fair, to approach someone like you can't be, and I'm sorry for the term, but you can't be pulling up on no bullshit. You know, you set a precedent.
you better not.
No, but you set a precedent.
I love that.
And let's say for myself, right? I wanted to have you on this show. I'm not gonna come and ask you if I don't have everything ready to
No,
receive
but
you.
you have to, because not everybody, we don't have our stuff. Nobody can stand there, not me, not nobody can stand there and say that they have their stuff all together. That's
Yeah.
a lie.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Big
a
true, big
lie.
facts, big
And I
facts.
think that we have
know
to
I
be
don't.
more bold. We have to be bold in everything that we want in life. Like when you're given an opportunity, it's do or die. You have to just grab that opportunity and make the most of it. And I'm gonna share a story with you. So a few years back, before the pandemic, Michelle Obama had a book tour.
Right.
Right.
And I had the former minister of sports of Gabon, who's actually the first woman to become a minister of sports in my country,
Wow.
had told me, Gwen, I want to meet two people in life. I want to meet Michelle Obama and I want to meet Oprah.
Wow.
If you get me the opportunity to meet with one of these ladies, I will help you in one of your projects. And I said, bet, no problem. I'll work on that.
Let me
So then,
Michelle!
with my wrist.
so Michelle has these tickets,
King
these
Arthur,
VIP
right?
tickets that are like $1,000 to attend and to meet and greet, etc. And so I tell the minister she will be in Montreal. You will be able to see her in person, to meet her, but I'm not sure if you'll be able to speak with her. But I know myself, and I know that if you get me one ticket to go with you, I will make sure that you get her chief of staff's contact, and that we develop some type of partnership with the Obama Foundation. So
Right.
she says, okay, bet, let's go, let's do it.
Let's
So
go.
she travels with her girlfriend to Montreal. We meet up, and then I remember a few hours before the event, it kind of hit her that also there was a negative person with us in her entourage who was like, oh, you guys are going, but you're just taking pictures. There's no guarantee. I mean, you're not going to be able to do
there's
this.
always
It's
that
not
person.
Jealousy.
So I was just blocking this noise because
Yeah.
I didn't want this noise to become a reality of mine. I didn't want this.
Because if you keep telling yourself something, it
Yeah.
becomes.
So then when we arrived there and we got to the place, one of the staffers of Michelle Obama started acting up on us, saying, you can't, because I asked, can we please have just like a 2 minutes with this person? Can we please have a 2 minutes with her?
Yeah.
And they said no. And she was like, you're going to hurry up and this and that. So when we got in front of Michelle Obama, I just said, Mrs. Obama, my name is Gwen Madiba. I am with this lady who is the former minister and the first woman to become a minister of sports. She traveled over almost 20 hours all the way from Gabon to be able to meet you, to talk to you about a project that she has for young women back home. And I'm hoping that you can give her the time, not today, but maybe some other day. And she said, her staffer came and said, okay, it's enough. And Michelle said, no, I'm not done. And she said, I'm not done. And and so she said, thank you, first of all, thank you for traveling all the way here. And then she asked, Michelle, where's Mel? Mel, where's my chief of staff? So now her chief of staff came, a lady named Mel Winters, super sweet lady. And we ended up having like a 20-30 minute conversation
Right then and there.
on the side.
Oh,
Right
that's
there,
amazing.
just talking about, you know, the projects and why it's important for her to keep in touch, etc.
Right.
She gave us all her cards, and that the rest was history, you
Wow.
know. But it's like, what do you make with the card after? That's what's important.
Exactly.
For me, if I have one advice to give to people is when you meet people, don't just meet them to take pictures with them. If it's people that you admire and that you want to learn from, connect with them
Have a
from
good project.
pure place, like a pure heart, and the rest will be history. Make the people that you look up to become your mentors, become your second parents, your sisters, your brothers, and that will make that's what will make a difference in your lives. Don't just meet people to take a picture with people. Meet them because you can learn from them and they can learn from you too. And again, don't ever think you're too small. There's nothing that we cannot achieve in this world. And so when we get our Emmys and our Oscars and our whatever, because we will get them, at least I will.
Big facts.
Yes,
Right?
you will.
Right? We just have
Big
to remember where we came from, and also,
Yeah.
most importantly, to remember to keep the door open for others. Yeah.
Amazing.
Man, Gwen, listen, this has been nothing but a pleasure. Such poise, such, you know, confidence in the way you speak, you know.
Thank
and
you.
It's honestly very inspiring. I think my only question, you know, my last question, to kind of remind ourselves that it's a constant grind, a constant path, you know. My question to you, I guess, would be, what was your biggest roadblock, or like, what was the biggest thing that you were able to overcome, basically? Yeah.
My mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, really my mind. And I think that that's the biggest obstacle for a lot of people. It's the things, the stories we keep telling ourselves. And like, I remember even like, you know, when my dad passed, I just wanted to, I promised to my dad and I promised to God that if he gave me the chance to push through, that I would leave a legacy that would be bigger than my dad's legacy. My dad used to always say that, you know, the role of a mentor is just that. It's just to make sure that whomever comes after you is doing better than you. But then we live in a world where people want to see you do good, but not better than them.
Facts.
Yeah,
right?
that's so true.
But you don't have to be that person. Just be the best person you can to people around you.
Man.
Wow, I'm so inspired.
Gwen, today was such a beautiful experience. Again, I want to thank you. We want to thank you for having, you know, the whole crew, everybody that's there, and you know, can you let people know where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, for sure. It's at Gwen Madiba on Instagram. I'm not really much on Twitter. There's nothing there. I don't do much. I'm
Nothing
always
there.
on social media at Gwen Madiba, and also sponsored by God. So it's like dash sponsored by God.
Okay.
On,
And you need to get your
IG.
page off of private, huh? If you want people to follow,
I know.
Enough of that private, huh?
It's just because I had some family members.
I know those ones. Well, today, guys, you
You
know,
gotta filter people sometimes.
you're right.
You
All
feel me?
right.
But no, I'll have to like. I'm just sad that soon I'll have to just be for contract reasons as
Right.
well. I have to
Public.
make my page public, which I've been like pushing back,
Yeah.
and with some of the sponsors and some people that are working with me are like, okay, it has to now be public, and I keep pushing, but yeah.
It will be
We'll find you. We'll find you. Definitely.
Yes, find me,
Definitely.
add me.
Yeah.
Just make sure that your account isn't.
Weird. Well, guys, that was another episode of Off the Ropes podcast. I'm your humble host, Young SEAKA,
And I'm Maya.
and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.